What is up, everybody? You know, I always start this show off by showing love to those companies that help make this podcast possible. First and foremost is my friends over at Company Cam. I always say this: I don't care what CRM you are using. I don't care whether it's House Call Pro, it's Service Titan, it's Jobber, whatever it is. You need to have Company Cam as an add-on. There's a lot of amazing field service management tools, CRMs, whatever you want to call them. But they're trying to do a lot of stuff. They're good at the invoicing, collecting the bills and all that kind of stuff. Company Cam is designed to do a particular task, and it does it better than any software that I've ever seen. I have used it at every single company that I have managed, owned, ran, whatever it is. We have used Company Cam, and I absolutely love it. As far as photo and video documentation, it is the best. I told you're going to be able to take the picture and know who took it. They're going to be high quality photos that are saved in the cloud, videos, all the annotations, direct communication with people in your team, a comfort specialist and an install coordinator, whoever it is, can see the pictures live and say, hey, we got to run a new gas line. We got to change that duct. Hey, can you get me a picture of this angle? Can you do that? It is seamless. It also gets you good, high quality pictures to be able to share online. Obviously, you want to share your work with customers, let them see the work that you provide, and you cannot beat that with Company Cam. Now it also has AI note taking built in. It can look at the picture. It can look at what you did and build notes based on that. You cannot beat it, guys. Company Cam is amazing. It's stop wasting that time and having to upgrade your storage on your phone because you have all these pictures of data plates and nomenclature and furnaces and ACs, etc. Company Cam is going to keep it in the cloud where it should be and not on your device. Whether it's a work iPad, a work phone, your phone, whatever it is, let Company Cam keep it in the cloud, keep it stored. It's there. It's geotagged. You know exactly who took it, where they were, time-stamped, all that good stuff. You cannot beat it. And Company Cam is quickly, actually, always rolling out new features. It is absolutely amazing. Anybody out there who is a manager, a business owner in the service trades, I don't care what it is, you should be looking into Company Cam. You can thank me later. Go ahead and go to www.companycam.com/HVAC Uncensored. You will see it going across the ticker on the screen throughout the show. They will give you a 14-day free trial to check it out. If you like it, they will give you 50% off your first 3 months. Just repeat a part of HVAC Uncensored Nation. So please go check out my friends over at Company Cam. Next, guys, is my friends over at Yellow Jacket. I know we are getting ready to get into the hustle and bustle of the summer season. Some of you are probably already there. Here in Maryland, we are actually busy right now, and it's not warm yet, to be honest. We've been getting like high 70s, low 80s, which is, grand scheme of things, is not hot, but it's been busy, so it's good for business. Some of you in different parts of the United States are already booming, and hey, good for you guys. But I know this is the time when you're making money, you're spending money, you're trying to upgrade tools. And I always tell you, I will never tell you what to buy. Those words will never come out of my mouth. All I say is if you're looking for something different, you're trying something new, to give my friends over at Yellow Jacket a try. The new Titan Max digital manifold I have been using. You'll see me post some more stuff in here. I've been using it every day, pretty much all Yellow Jacket, all the communication stuff, their wireless probes, every single day when I'm going out to help with calls. Well, I'm not doing calls every day, but quite a few days in a row. And I am using all of this stuff, absolutely loving it. The Titan Max, I think they knocked it out of the park with this tool. It is ergonomical, has all the features that we want. And I think that Titan manifold is the best analog manifold ever made as far as I'm concerned. So the fact they kept that and built onto it is amazing. So definitely give that a try. They have a bunch of new tools out. Some of you that were at AHR, their new YJY, the charging Y or vacuum Y, should be released here soon. I will have some to show you. I don't think it's on the website yet. A lot of you in here, like, Rookie and Zeke. Not Zeke, Jason. You guys saw it. I don't think it's even on the website yet, but it's absolutely amazing. This thing is going to be badass. I cannot wait for you guys to see it and test it out. It is nothing like it on the market. So definitely want to check this out. As soon as I get my hands on it, I will share stuff to let you guys know how much it is, where you can get it, and all that stuff. All right. With that being said, man, guys, remember 75 years, almost 76 years of expertise built into every tool. And real fast, I don't have this up here, but I want to say, and I got to change the ticker. The True Tech Tools discount code is still uncensored, but all of the discount codes have been changed to 6%, not 8. That is across the board. So everybody who has a discount code, it is no longer 8%, it is 6%. So I do have to change the ticker on the screen when it goes up there. It is 6% from now moving forward. It's actually been that way since January 1st. That is my fault for not changing it, but that is everyone across the board. It doesn't matter whose code you use. Hopefully you're using uncensored, please. It's going to be 6%, not 8. All right. The fact that they give us a code, I'm forever grateful for it. So, whatever it is, it's amazing to have. So it's 6%. It's pretty much taking care of sales tax for you, but it is no longer 8%. It is 6%. All right. On with the show. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the United States, and thank you to all those men and women who defend it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Welcome to the #1 rated HVAC podcast. If you're looking to grow in the HVAC industry, then you're in the right spot. Blue collar people talking about blue collar shit. Let's get better together. So turn up the volume, buckle your seatbelt, and let's welcome your host, Gil KV Jr.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. I'm your host, Gil KV Jr. Here we are, another Wednesday, another hump night, and another amazing show for you. Guys, I apologize about last week, man. As you see tonight, you guys know that I'm in a new opportunity, general managing another company, and I just went there recently. So there's a lot of stuff to do, a lot of stuff to implement before it's go time. It's almost summer. So I've been in the field, I've been in the office, bouncing back and forth, trying to implement, all these things that I want done to make sure that we capture the most revenue this summer, to make sure the techs are making the most money for them and their family. In turn, if they're making money, the company's making money, and it's just full tilt. So that's what I'm worried about. So I've been out there doing that. And then I'm also driving a good little bit. I have an hour and a half plus drive each way. So I've been getting home really, really late. Last week was busy as all hell. It just wasn't happening. I had talked to Rookie and let him know I planned on doing something Friday or Saturday. It just did not work. So I apologize. Hope all of you guys are doing great, but that is what happened last week. And that is also why I'm a little bit later tonight. And I didn't send the link to my guest. So therefore I made my guest late. So I just fucked up all over. All right. Kick me in the nuts, why don't you? Okay. It is what it is. Anyway, great show tonight, but I do want to say what's up to some people. Obviously, my main man, Rookie. What is up, my brother? Thank you for always being here. Mr. East Coast, what is up? Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Nasty, thank you for being here, my man. Let's see, who else do we got in here? I know I saw a bunch of people. Mr. Gist Work, what is up, Rudy? Thank you for being here, buddy. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Mr. Zeke Warner, what is up, buddy? I will see you this weekend. Gonna go hang out with my man Zeke. Mr. Jason Johnson, there he is. What is up, my brother from another mother, Mr. Jason Johnson. Mr. Freon Leon, what is up, buddy? Thank you for being here. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. I hope I didn't. If I did miss you, I apologize. But guys, I have a great show tonight, man. I've been so looking forward to this. A lot of close friends of mine, some of them you know, some of them you don't, have been heavily involved in this program. And I know a lot of you, some of you in here are business owners, some of you are not, you are just technicians, and I get it. But I get questions all the time about people wanting to run a business. And one of the biggest problems is it's really good technicians. They know how to do the X's and O's of the technical standpoint, but they don't know shit about running a business, which I get it. I didn't. I had to learn all of that. So CEO Warrior is one of the biggest and best out there as far as taking these people who are great with the technical side and teaching them to be badass business owners, able to be successful, to make money, and to be able to do what they want in their business. If they want to grow and leave it to family, great. You want to grow and you want to be able to sell, whatever your end game is, they are there to help guide you to be able to get to that end. We have an amazing guest tonight to help us talk about it. So without further ado, please put your hands together and help me introduce Jesus. Uh, Mr. Kevin Hill, he is one of the master advisors and head of training over here at CE Warrior. So let's put your hands together and welcome Mr. Kevin.
Well, hello. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. Oh, sorry. Echo thing on. Sorry.
That's quite the introduction. I don't really know how to follow that up. That's pretty awesome. Super happy to be here. Also looking forward to this. Today has been a little bit of a nice day of podcasts. So it's been a cool one. I was with your buddy Tersh earlier today, which is great.
Yeah.
So CEO Warrior, we do it. Gil was pretty spot on. We're a number of people that have come from the business, either successfully exited the businesses, grown businesses to high levels, millions of dollars, and either made a lot of people a lot of money or have exited ourselves through private equity or succession plans. And our entire mission is to help others grow. That's what we do. We're not in it to be gurus. We're not in it to show everyone, point our fingers at ourselves. We're in it to help everyone else. And we've been really fortunate, had some phenomenal people help us. And CEO Warrior is all about giving back and helping others grow their own business, grow and make more money for their families, and just see what that world looks like.
Yeah. So you guys are still headquartered in Jersey, right?
Yeah, Eatontown, New Jersey.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I've heard nothing but, good things about you guys. And I know we can dig into some things, but one thing I thought was cool is now you're there advising people, but you said that your company yourself, like you were a part of CEO Warrior, sold your company, and now you're there helping others. So that's awesome. Do you mind touching about that a little bit?
Sure, absolutely. Our company joined in 2016. Then we successfully exited our company, sold to private equity. And in 2022, I stayed on for a year and then joined as a master advisor and stayed on. Just love CEO Warrior. The founder of CEO Warrior is still someone I connect with. Great guy. And he built a lot of the foundation of what we have here. It's different than any training you've ever been to. And I know every coaching organization says that, right? But I say give us a try, and I guarantee leaving after 3 days of training with us, you're going to give me a bro hug and say this is different than anything I've ever been to.
Yeah, no, and I've definitely heard that because I know Mike did step away, right? Mike's not Aguilar's not there anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing but respect for Mike. I've had talked to him before. He's been doing this for a long time though, so sometimes you need to just not work. It's easier said than done to people with that kind of mentality, though.
Yeah, not sure that's in his DNA, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I don't think so either. No, that's awesome because I remember when it started. I mean, how many members do you? I mean, you guys are up there now. Like, it's pretty big.
There's a couple hundred member. I mean, we've been much bigger. We are we have our ebbs and flows depending upon. We went through a transition when after Mike left. We went through some transition. We had a couple of pretty primary people that had exited. Just like any other growing company, we have our ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
And now we have some pretty solid individuals as advisors. Everyone that's an advisor has done the job that they advise for successfully within the industry. And we have some great consultants too, people that are pretty high level, masters at marketing in the industry, leadership in the industry, financing in the industry. Like, they're just experts in it.
See, and that's what I love, because what gets me, and especially in the world of social media, is I've been I've been more successful than I ever thought I would, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm just scratching the surface when it comes to a lot of people. So when people ask me questions about business or technical stuff, I can help them technically, but when it comes to business, it's like, hey, I can help you as much as I know. And
Yeah.
then, because of the podcast, I'm fortunate enough I can hand you off to somebody else who's done it, but you want to find somebody and get advice from somebody who's where you want to be.
Yeah.
Like really, not like they're really been there. Not like everybody on Facebook, oh, we did 20 million. And then you go visit and it's like, oh, we're 5 million. Like, dude, just say you're 5 million. Like, that's awesome. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't get caught up in the bullshit. And that's one thing I love about you guys is there's people guiding you who are doing what you're trying to be. So that is the kind of, person that you want to be getting coaching from. And then the second part of that is it's also a network, like you said, like, hey, we use these people for marketing. We use these people for this. So you build this inner network of people you trust that you don't have to. I mean, marketing's a big one. Everybody who's been in managing in a trade business for a long time, you've been burned. You've used a company that didn't do what they said they were going to do, and you had to find out the hard way. So this can kind of help you from having to do some of those things, to have those headaches that some other people have already had before. And then, like you said, but you still got to put in the work. So I know I just threw a lot at you, but
Well, no, and I have a phenomenal partner in this woman named Caroline that I work with, and her entire job is to vet out the vendor partners that we have. People that if you were a member of our of CEO Warrior, you can go and you come to us and say, Kevin, I need help with marketing. I need a vendor partner of marketing. Who does marketing or who does recruiting or who does bookkeeping? We have a list of people that we've already vetted out. You don't have to. And you just go down the list and figure out which one is the best match for you. And I think that's a really big plus. And Caroline does a wonderful job of that, manages that, has a rebate program for it. So you're getting money back, which helps pay for your membership. Like there's a really good piece to that. We even have specialists in risk management. We have an attorney on as a coach. So if you were, as a GM of your company, you get into a labor issue or a contract issue, instead of spending thousands on an attorney, pick up the phone and call an advisor and say, hey, help me through. Now, he's not going to court with you, but he's going to give you all the front end and be able to help you out. And that's a separator, man. If you have someone that can do that, and he's a great guy. He will dig in and help you right up to the point where he has to walk away for contractual purposes. He can't represent people.
Yeah. And that's huge to have somebody that knows that stuff, because there's a lot of us that have been in the trades for a while, things that you thought were okay that are not legal. And like, if you know what I mean, like could bite you in the ass. So it's good to have somebody be able to educate you. And I've already said this on here before, but I know a lot of people get people to sign, at companies, sign the NDAs and stuff like that. And I've found out that only sticks in management or supervisorial positions. People that know trade secrets. Your technicians, it's good to get them to sign it, but it's not going to hold up in court. But at least you have people that are guiding you in that kind of stuff. Even if a person makes salary, they still should be paid overtime. Like you can get in trouble. You can get sued if you don't do that. Like, sadly, I've seen some of these things, and it's like, make sure you have somebody advising you that's not feeding you bullshit. Because once again, being an influencer, whatever the hell they call me, I get to talk to a lot of people, but I also get to see a lot of the bullshits out there, and people they're listening to this stuff, and it's like, hey man, like I don't want to see you get yourself in trouble because you're listening to stuff that you shouldn't be listening to.
Well, and I think, you said something earlier. You talked about the people that are on social media saying, I do 20 million, I do 15 million or whatever. Revenue is vanity, man. Revenue doesn't mean jack. First thing I would do when I looked at my P&Ls, I didn't care I looked at the first number because of revenue. Because of vanity. I wanted to see what we did. You know what number I cared about? The one way on the bottom.
Yeah. Profit.
Make money.
Exactly. That's why I tell people, you can be a $20 million company, but if you're only like 7% net profit, you got no cash flow and you're not doing very well,
Hey, lawsuit away from losing your business.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather be a $6 million company with 20% net profit. And then, hey, I'm doing better than you are. It's, I got cash flow. I can do things. I mean, it's, so people just need to understand the numbers. And me coming in, I was a good tech. I was that guy that could fix anything. So when I got into the management and the business side, I had to truly learn, but I finally took the same passion I took is learning the technical side into the business side. I'm like, hey, I want to know this and I want to know the right way to do this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more than you think it is. It's a lot of a lot of little details that it's like, damn, I didn't know it was like that. Like when techs bitch about how much things cost, and then when you break down why it costs what it costs, they're like, damn, we should probably charge more. Exactly. See,
it's funny you say that. We just did. We have a how you call them technician. We call them service experts, right? Because technician is a different type of person. The service expert is the person who's super knowledgeable and goes in your house and presents options, right? Like that's the way that we look at it. So we do something called road warrior training. It's when we take technicians, plumbers, electricians, HVAC technicians, and we bring them all in a room and we teach them more mindset than, I mean, I'm not going to teach anyone how to turn a screw. That's just not my skill set. But I'm going to teach someone how to have a good conversation, how to think more highly of yourself than, right? Like I tell everyone that when they walk in a room, like when you leave, I want you to think of yourself in the same Rolodex as the homeowner's attorney, their tax guy, their doctor. You should be in the same Rolodex. You know why? Because if you're their plumber, when they flush their toilet and brown water comes up in their sink, they're not calling their attorney. You're their main person they want to call, which means you should be in this Rolodex. Act like it. Remember, that's where you belong. And that's how you should show up at their front door, not dirty, smelling like crap, walking to the front door. No, show up like you belong in this Rolodex over here, not that pile of business cards over there. And they walk out with that mindset. Like guys walk in and they think of themselves at whatever level in society. And these guys come out and they're, I kid you not, we joked about it earlier. Like there's nothing more powerful to me than that bro hug at the end of a 3-day session in New Jersey in our warehouse training center. A bro hug with a guy who says, man, you changed my world.
Yeah.
Like, can you think of a better job than that? Come on.
No, that's an awesome job. And like, I've been fortunate because of this podcast. Like, some of the best friends that I've met in the world are in this trade, and we don't live in the same state. Like, it's just a bunch of amazing. I always call them they're blue collar badasses. They're people that think like me. They live like me, and I've been, like Tersh. I've known Tersh and his beautiful wife Julie. They're amazing people, sweethearts of people that I actually love them. Josh. Obviously, I've known Tersh longer than Josh, but getting to know Josh, another amazing dude. And it's, and having something like that in the business side, and it's amazing. Like I haven't been to that, but I've been to something. I don't even want to say it's similar because I don't want to discredit you guys like that. I've been to events like that where I've saw like, I had a powerful moment, and it's like one person that I love that's not even in this trade is Tommy Mello. And
sure.
Tommy, talking to him and you'll get stuff and he makes you want to run through a brick wall, and
absolutely.
And you get emotional with the stuff that he gives you because it's like, dude, this guy's giving me like life-changing stuff that he could be like, he should be charging me for this, and he's not. You know what I mean? And it's just I love that. So when people go to these things, yes, you're paying money. It's not free. Let's not sit here and act like it's not, but you're leaving with something that can impact your life and your business.
Right. And when, what I like, I'm glad you mentioned Tommy. What I like about him is he's genuine about it. Like he really wants to give back. He's been fortunate. No one handed him anything, man. He earned that stuff. He has the scrapes, the bruises, the blood, the sweat, the tears that got him to where he is. I get all that. Right. I got it. The nice thing is, again, I love going to work because I get to get back. And he has that same mentality, right? He grew his business far larger than the businesses that I've grown. But the fact of the matter, he still gives back, and he's genuine about it. I can't say that about everyone in the coaching organization, in the coaching world, right? Yeah. They're not that way. But the ones that I plan to associate with and hang out with, those are the people that I spend my time with. Those are ones that have been successful. They've done good things in this world, and they give back appropriately.
Yeah, yeah. And then, and you also find some, like I said, not to be the negative part, is like, like we said about, so well, let me say, I said about social media is some of these people, it is the vanity, and they do the coaching, but not to help people. It's for them. It's, hey, look at me. So that's why I tell people to be careful. And those people, it's not that they don't have good information. They're just doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
So that's what you got to be careful for. And one thing, going back to Tommy, that I love is, um, he's the same dude, and when you ask him about his success, he talks about how many millionaires he made, how many people he's brought up with him. And
Yep.
that's awesome. So that's why I always say the way that I've, ran businesses, and I still know that I have a lot to learn, but I've always made the technicians, if I make sure that they make money, I know the company's making money. Culture's great. They love working for me. They know I'm worried about them. I don't have to have this, meeting talking about revenue that, nobody wants to fucking listen to. And I rather smack myself in the nuts than do that. So I worry about them making money, and then the revenue takes care of itself. And if we have all the stuff in place, making sure that we're making the profit, we're priced accordingly, that kind of stuff, then all the other stuff works out to itself. But I know for me, if I want to be able to go bigger than I've ever done, I still have a lot to learn, because, I can get to that 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 million, which is amazing. That's a huge feat. I'm forever grateful that
Not all home service companies make it to
yeah,
double-digit millions.
yeah, that I can do that. But I know that I have a lot to learn if I want to be able to go any further than that, from somebody who's done it before.
Yeah. I mean, I think even at our company in South Carolina, my pride wasn't in the revenue number, nor was it really in the net profit, because at the end of the day, that was all good, well and good, and that got us to a number to make PE happy, right? That was all great. But where my success was seeing my employees buy their first house, seeing my employees, buy their first car, seeing my employees not be afraid of this thing when it rang because it wasn't a creditor calling them. Like, those things made me feel good. And when they would sit down and talk to me and say, hey, Kev, you gave me the opportunity. You allowed me to have a good job. You taught me well. You trained me well. I haven't talked to some of these folks or I haven't worked with them in 5 years. They're still sending me holiday cards because I changed their lives. And that's not me bragging. That's me being super proud of what I did. And they worked for it, man. I gave them the foundation. They put in the work.
Yeah, I love that you say that, Kevin. I really do, because if you can go back and listen to some of my past podcasts, and that's exactly what I say, that I judge myself based on them. Like, one of my biggest things at one of my last opportunities is, I had like 5 guys under the age of like 24 who were making $100,000+ a year. I watched them buy a house, buy a car, gave them financial lessons. Some of them were like, hey, I make more than my parents do. I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah.
Because I do that. So I make them write on boards that stay in our training room about their personal goals, not your work goals. We can put this to your like buy a house, get married, and I want to see them. I want to see them wipe it off. Like, that makes me so happy. So it's funny you said that, because that's 100% exactly how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Because you know what? For me, my checking account and 401k means nothing to anyone else, except for my wife, of course. But besides her, but it means nothing to anyone else, and nor does it. It doesn't really matter. So what I'm more excited about is I'm comfortable, right? So what I'm more happy about is whether or not I can make other people comfortable. But I always say, I will never do the work for you. I will give you all the foundation. I might even sit next to you and help, but I will never do it for you.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, yeah, if somebody truly wants to grow, I always say you have to be uncomfortable to grow. And you can't do it for them. You have to you can provide them the resources. They have to be the one that's willing to put in the work and do it. And that's just the truth.
Yeah.
I feel like even in this trade, I did things wrong for a long time until I realized the opportunities that my dad did this trade that he had given me, and it was like, fuck, I could be good at this if I actually put some kind of effort to it. So it's and I'm fortunate for that.
I watched my dad work way too hard in a factory for all of his life, And I just said I didn't want to work that hard. Like I didn't want to work as hard as my dad. So I figured out a way not to. And now I'm helping others not have to work that hard and still be successful. Because he worked his tail off, man, and I'm grateful for it because he provided for me and my sister and our family. But man, he worked his tail off, and and that's what you did back then, of course. But I promised myself that I wanted to be home more with my family. I wanted to not work as hard. I wanted to, the two jobs, driving past the house, getting a sandwich handed to you out the passenger door, and then moving on to your next job. That's a lot of tough work, man.
Yeah, no, it is. And, when I first got into this trade, it was, the crack the whip. You had to work. And if early in the morning until late at night. And if you didn't, if you didn't do it, then you had to find somewhere else. So I do think that it's changing, but it's also bringing the blue collar trades back to the younger generation. Like that, it
Yeah.
is cool. I love some of the social media stuff. Some of these young guys that are out there, it's drawing in some of the younger crowd because there's a bunch of these kids going to college wasting their fucking time and money or their parents' time and money for some
Yeah.
bullshit degree. And you can make a good living in the trades. And I want to see that come back. I want
Yep.
people to be entrepreneurial and want to own a business and do it. That's why I have nothing but respect for my two partners, Brian and Roy. They're not from the trades.
Yeah.
One is a mechanical engineer, and Roy's just good at everything. He's the brain. Like he's like marketing money. I don't even know. I know he was a baseball player. I forget exactly what he went to college for, but the fact that they wanted to be like, hey, we want to make an impact and go into the trades, it's fucking awesome because most people would run away from it. You know what I mean? So I love seeing that people want to do these trade businesses because I rather see these, mom and pop, and I know you guys do, but I rather see that than a bunch of the big conglomerates. That's just me personally.
No, I'm with you. I mean, we were a product of I was the one that stayed on for a year after private equity, and it's just a different world, man. It's a different outlook after private equity, and when you came from a family-owned organization that grew and got well ingrained in the community, and people knew you to see you in the grocery store and sing the jingle to you because you were wearing the shirt, like that stuff was awesome. I don't miss the stress of owning an HVAC company or a GM of a HVAC electrical and plumbing company. That's a lot of stress, as you well know.
Yeah, it's
a lot of
it's
pressure.
a lot. And I always play devil's advocate thinking of situations. Even if I'm on this side, I still think about it from the other side. So I say to all the technicians out there, you may think that your manager, your service manager, your boss, your owner is a dipshit, but until you walk a day in his or her shoes, you don't know. You don't know what they go through. And if they've never been a technician per se, then maybe they don't know what you go through. So just agree to disagree that you don't know what each other goes through because it's not what you think it is sometimes. It's really not. And not everybody's out there doing it the right way, but there's a lot of people out there that are doing the best that they can. This is not easy. That's why I tell you guys, there's more businesses that open and close than are successful. That's the truth. That's why places like CEO Warrior exist to try to make it so you're not one of those companies that closes the doors. That you do your dream, you put all this money out, you buy a van, do all this stuff, and you build it up, and then you fall flat on your face, and now you got to start over in debt. Like it doesn't have to be that way. That's the kind of thing that I'm trying to say. Like there's people out there that can help guide you to make the right decisions, than you trying to do it alone.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I couldn't agree with that more. Nothing's more sad than you watch a good company with a bunch of good people, 4 or 5 guys get together with great ideas, and then they fail because they forgot to ask or they were too proud to ask for help.
Yeah. And it's the same with business owners. I always say in service meetings, I tell the techs, the number one things that stops techs from growing, and it's the same thing for business owners, is pride.
Yeah.
Don't let your pride get in the way. Like just don't. Technicians, they learn enough to be dangerous, then they stop, and then they have to pretend like they know more than they do because they think people, oh, he should know that or she should know that. Well, if you don't, you don't. Like let's figure it out. And the same with business owners. It's oh, well, I have to have this appeal or the vanity side of it. And it's like, let's just get it right. Who gives a fuck what anybody thinks? You know what I mean? Like, let's just get better.
Yeah, I mean, I've started and sold several companies in my career, and I still have several mentors that I speak to on a regular basis to try and get myself better on it. Like, I will never stop learning. And why? Because I stand on a stage. If I'm not on a call like this, I stand on a stage, and my job is to present to other people. And if I'm not on top of my game, or at least a half a step ahead, then I'm failing everyone else.
Yeah.
And I take and I don't fail very well. I've never have. Like, it's just not a thing I do.
Yeah.
So someone asked me one day what the definition of a warrior, and we have this logo, and it's very very tough, and you think about swords and the metal, and our founder was very deep into martial arts, and he's a phenomenal martial artist, and that's kind of where our background came from. But my thought on definition of a warrior is a little bit different. Like, I'm going to fall down. You're going to knock me down. I don't promise that I'm going to be the toughest, biggest, smartest, strongest person in the room. But my definition of warrior, go ahead, knock me down. I'm going to stand back up.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my definition. And that's what I try and ensue in the people who come and visit us. Like, just get a definition. And I hope that it's something similar to that. I don't care if you wear the helmet, because sometimes you'll look out and there's a guy with a helmet on in the training, and that's perfectly fine. But just have that definition. You're going to get knocked down. You're going to be uncomfortable in our training. Get comfortable with the uncomfortable. We're going to ask you to stretch outside your limit a little bit. But at the end of the day, just get back up.
Yeah.
It's like role play, right? We do a lot of role play. No one likes role playing. Not even the person standing on stage, me. It's weird for everybody, right? Yeah. But lumberjacks don't like sharpening their axe either. It's boring. But if they don't do it, they're not going to do their job well the next day. It's just something you have to do to get really good at your job.
Yeah, and you have to fail to be successful. That's how it works. The people that have been successful means they failed more than you have. That's what nobody, even the people that do it quick and have what we consider quick success, it just means they failed quickly, because nobody gets it right the first time. You just don't. It's not possible. It doesn't happen. I don't care what anybody says. That's not how it works. Even from the tech side, I say, I've made more mistakes than you have, or any mistake you've made, I've made before. I don't care if you make mistakes. I don't care if you fail. Just try to learn from them, Make a mistake, learn from it. Don't keep making the same one. So if you fail and you keep making the same mistake, okay, well, now you got to be like, okay, why do I keep making the same mistake? I'm not learning from this mistake, Yeah,
it's a great point. I mean, the only time a mistake is a failure if you didn't learn from it, right? I mean, that's we say that all the time. I mean, I think that's super impactful when you can learn from your mistake. Everyone's going to make them. I always say you're going to learn way more from me from what not to do, because I already went down that road. And that road sucks. Like, don't go to the left, man. It sucks down there. Like, stay to the right. I'm telling you, stay to the right. It might look pretty and fancy, and social media is telling you over there, go to the left. Don't. Stay to the right. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and that's huge. Just that. If somebody didn't, if all you told them, if they were a technician and, hey, I'm trying to start a company or whatever trade they were in, and you just told them what not to do, that's powerful in itself. You know what I mean? Saving you from the headaches that all these other people have made. It's huge. And I just want people to really understand that, because I get people that are, I can do it. I don't need help, and I always go back to the technicians. I don't need tech support. I don't got to call this. It's like, once again, don't let your pride get in the way, man. Like, be the best version of yourself. I say at the end of every podcast, be the best version of you, no matter what it takes. Always try to make yourself be better. And there's just so many resources out there in this day and age. There's no excuse. If you want to get better, there's something to make you better. And if you choose not to use it, that's your fault. That's on you.
Yeah, there's 100 tools out there for every skill set you want. Mindset, get rid of limiting beliefs, like everything. Run a process of a service call. Like there's a million different ways that you can learn how to hone your skill and get better. And at the end of the day, what are we actually getting better at? Having good conversations with the customer service, building rapport, right? And I don't mean building rapport like, hey, I like the patch of grass you have on your front yard. We're done with that, right? That was last year, or maybe 5 years ago. Who knows? Right? We're done with that stuff. Like, at this point, if you're not returning, customers don't want to give up their money. We all know this. Customers want to hold on to their money. You watch the news, everything is doomsday. Interest rates, home interest rates went up a little bit again, right? Like it's a whole lot of stuff that's happening. But you know what the truth is? Only 20% of home service businesses are actually declining right now. Only 20%. 60% are growing, which leaves another, 20% that are flat? So, the economy isn't the problem. What's the problem? The mirror. Limiting belief. You're looking in the mirror and you're believing the hype of the world is falling, Chicken Little.
Yeah.
Right? So stop. The companies that are winning, they're doubling down on marketing. They're doubling down on training. Right? Those are the ones that are those are companies that are winning, creating more opportunity to get into the house. And then once you get in the house, value proposition. Everything you do should have a return on investment that you talk to that person about.
Yeah, and I teach ours to. I always say bringing it back to factory fresh, and I just always like that. And I have people. I want you to bring up everything that is not the way it was supposed to be. Let the customer decide. I'm not saying beat them over the head and try to give them some sales pitch. I always say I teach people to be good technically and communication. I don't use the word sales, but obviously being an HVAC, I tell those people, if you go out there and you're that guy that changes a capacitor and leaves, okay, maybe that bill was cheap, but did you really do the best for that customer? No. The guy that says, I ran 15 calls in a day. Okay, well, that means you fucked over 15 people. That's what that means. Hate to break it to you, but you had 15 people that didn't get the proper service. I am more about quality over quantity. I rather my technicians hit 3-4 people in a day max and give them the best fucking service they've ever had in their life. So when that thing breaks again, I know they're calling no one else because nobody else is doing what we do.
Yep. Yeah. Just showing up the house, knocking on the door and blowing through a call means absolutely nothing. It's kind of like the revenue thing. That's a vanity thing. Well, man, we did 100 calls this week. How did you actually serve a single client? You didn't. You didn't run a call to its effectiveness at any kind of high level. Like you were just checking boxes, man.
Yeah.
And that actually like you said that and I could feel like my adrenaline start pumping. Like that pisses me off. Like that just gets me angry when I hear that because there's a lot of companies that do that. They think running more calls is going to drive more revenue, is going to get more money in the bank. And all that does is just make the rest of us who really want to go out and serve that client at the highest level and really do right by that customer, it just makes it so much harder for us. Because when we start presenting clear options for the customer of everything that's not wrong or enhancements to safety, comfort, and efficiency within the home, they're like, oh, you're trying to sell me something. That other guy didn't say it. Well, maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't care. I don't know which one, but there's something going on.
Yeah, and there's too many of those companies that they teach their people to go through the motions, then they get pissed when they don't grow.
Yeah.
They'll buy all the processes and go to the classes, but they don't implement shit. They get all hoorah, and they come back and do nothing. Oh, read this paper, do this. And the guy goes, hey, I'm supposed to show you this. Would you like to do it? No? Okay, bye. And you wonder why it doesn't work. I find it's almost comical now. You know what I mean? When people do that. I've taken all these classes, they don't work. Well, yes, they do. It means you didn't implement it properly. That's the truth because, they work. They've been proven. So they obviously work. You did something wrong. You're just not Your pride is stopping you from looking in the mirror, like we talked about before, and saying, fuck, what did I do wrong? Why
Yeah.
didn't this work for me, but it worked for them?
Yep. Yeah. And we said it earlier, there's no magic bullet to this thing. It's hard work and consistency.
Yeah.
And, I've changed my mode. There used to be like with our comfort advisors and our sales folks, like there's a process and there has to be, these questions have to be answered. I've changed my mode with that and be a human. like that training 101 for my sales guys is be human. Walk in, ask some really good questions, get to know what the customer wants, and be human. Like, that's it. It's not rocket science. None of us are doing brain surgery. Walk in and be a human. Pretend like you're asking the questions to your grandmother.
Yep.
And see what do you want? Why do you want it? What do you think it's going to do for you? How are you going to feel when it's done? Really good, basic questions. And before you know it, they're the ones pointing out the options they want.
Yeah. And, a lot of people know, I have 4 children and my mom has stage 4 lung cancer. So I'm very big in IAQ. I have all of the UV lights, the MERV filters, the good filters and stuff like that. And I started bringing it up to people when I was still in the field, telling people like, hey, I don't know if you know this. I just want to make sure, especially after going through a global pandemic, I just want you to know what's on the market. And if you ever want this is there. And I had a woman who her son, even staying in the house, he had really bad, like something to do with his lungs where he was always on inhalers, on a breathing machine. And she wanted everything. I put all this stuff. She didn't even know this existed. Put all this stuff in her house and she was crying. She's like, now my son can be in his own home and not have to be a face mask on with a breathing machine and not have to use his inhaler. Like, yeah, we may be tradesmen or HVAC people, but we can truly impact people's lives. And that's the part that I love. Like I said, I like to impact the people that work for me's lives, but I like to impact the customers too in a positive way. Like, you can do this the right way. I always say, if you chase money, you're going to have a hard time making it. You're going to keep chasing it. It's like that girl you weren't supposed to have. You're going to keep chasing and chasing and chasing. But if you worry about doing what's right for people, it's funny how money just comes. Money has never driven me. It's cool to make it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not driven by money.
Yeah. If you're driven by service, money comes. Right. Driven by doing the right thing, integrity, making sure, you want to, when my guys worked on my teams and they would do something that was against integrity, that was an immediate, promoted to the competition. Right. I was big on integrity because I never wanted anyone to think that we were trying to sell something. Right? But I want you to go in and you're the knowledgeable person. You have all the information. You ask a homeowner what kind of air conditioning system they have. You know what most says? Honeywell. Yeah. They don't make air conditioning systems. They make thermostats. Right. But what do you see? What does the homeowner see? They see the thermostat and they look at the name. Okay, that's a Honeywell. So they just assume that's their split system or whatever.
Yeah. And if that's new, their system's new.
Exactly.
New. No, your thermostat's new. That's actually 35 years old.
35-year-old furnace that's rusted out. Yeah. But that's the knowledge base of a homeowner. So your job, right? I was talking about the Rolodex. Act like it because you belong in this Rolodex, not the pile of paper. I also use the term malpractice when it comes to service experts. You have the knowledge, you see something wrong, you don't say it. That's like malpractice. That's the same thing as your doctor seeing something wrong with your heart and not telling you about it. Yeah. Why? Because I came in because my toe was hurting. Yeah, they still put the stethoscope on your heart, listen to your lungs. If they didn't tell you about it because you came in for your toe, is that wrong or right? It's wrong. And God forbid something happens, you're suing the doctor. Take that same mentality. You have the same knowledge, more than they do. Tell them about it, right?
I used to use the one you take in your car to get your brakes done, and they see your rotors are fucked, and they say nothing because they're trying to keep the bill down. You come back the next week like, dude, my shit's squeaking. Oh, yeah, well, your rotors are done. Well, why the fuck didn't you tell me while I was here? I could have got it all done. Oh, well, I didn't want to charge you more money. Like, you're the people will, all you have to do is know what you're offering to the customer and be able
Yeah.
to explain it when they ask questions. It's that simple. And they're going to decide what they want to do. And I tell people, like you said, you look at these national shows when they do, especially for HVAC. I'm not sure what kind of business you own. Was it HVAC, plumbing? What?
HVAC, plumbing, electrical, crawl space, and 2-day bath.
Okay, so all of it. So when I do HVAC, it's in the same. But you watch those shows with those people, and it doesn't make us look good when they set something up, and 5 out of the 6 people are fucking scumbags. You know what I mean? They're like lying to them. So customers have a wall up, even for technicians. It used to be they trusted the tech sales guy. Go fuck yourself. The wall's up. But now even technicians, they're like, I don't know, man. You got to go and earn the trust. People don't buy from people they don't trust. That's just point blank, period.
You can trust. That's exactly right. They got to know, like, and trust you. They already know you. They called your company. All you got to do is show up representing your company, right? Which also blew my mind when the guy's like, oh, yeah, we don't have uniforms. Are you kidding me? How do you not have a uniform shirt? That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't care. I travel a lot, right, for work. I travel 30-something weeks a year. I don't care when I get on a plane, I'm branded. Because that's just what we do. And I have the people at TSA in my little home airport, they recognize me now. They're like, oh, CEO Warrior. They just know me when I walk in the airport now. But I go branded. Why? Because that's just what we do. Any person who works for a home service company should be branded. Now, I'm not saying go Saturday evening when you go out with maybe the boys and have a couple drinks. Leave your company shirt at home, because if you do something stupid, I want your company shirt at home.
Right.
On a regular work day, you should be branded. They already know you. All you got to do is make them like you, and then through your good conversations, good communication, good question answering, they're going to trust you. And you're 3/4 of the way there.
Yeah, plus I always think of it like the military. I want them to look good, feel good. I want you to wear nice uniforms. The days of dirt all over yourself and your butt crack hanging out. Like, no, let's I also don't I'm not real big on the white shirt mentality. The ones around here, they go rub like they're dirty. You know what I mean? But it's like here they wear, it's a blue Carhartt polo with gray pants, a hat. We have Carhartt sweatshirts. Like, I want them to wear nice stuff because I want them to wear outside of work. I agree. Not when they go out to the bar. But I mean, if they're going to the grocery store after work, wear that sweatshirt, man. I want you to rock it. That's free advertising. I want you to want to wear that kind of stuff and everything you have on. I love that stuff. I've been to those places where you have these shitty uniforms you don't want to wear and all that kind of stuff. Like, you have to build your brand. And I'm at the stage now where I was always taught, and you can tell me, where it's, my partners, the owners of this place, Brian and Roy, they bought this company a year ago. The company's been around for 15 years, but we kind of had to change everything. So, and it has mechanical in the name. And I was always taught you don't use mechanical in the residential world because people don't use credit. Exactly. It's, and so we'll definitely have to rebrand. But I said, right now, let's keep building our reputation. Let your reputation build your brand.
Yep. I agree with that. Too many changes at once, and it becomes too much. It's like drinking from a fire hose. It becomes too much.
Yeah.
Right. And then you're rebranding, plus you're working on marketing, plus you're trying to find, good people. It becomes a lot. So
yeah. So and we're doing good. This place has grown since I've been here, for being a company that's at like the $4 million range, and adding install teams, more good service technicians. So I'm actually extremely pumped for this. And we have a comfort specialist. This guy, he is a beast, a good, honest guy. His closing percentage is just nuts.
That'll put you over the edge. 1 or 2 really good comfort advisors, like, you get a good person who goes in the home and is able to close installs, replacement deals. That's what, and it's, depending on how your setup is, if there's an incentive for tech generated leads, man, it's another revenue stream for my service experts. If I was a service expert, I'd be feeding that guy leads all day long, legitimately, with integrity, not the 4-year-old furnace, right? I'm talking about legitimate leads. But I'd be feeding that guy leads all day long because I know he's going to close them, and that's just I'm walking away hearing cha-ching, 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 and that's play money for me. I just did my job, and I'm getting paid additional money for just doing my job. Like that was always a no-brainer for me.
And that's exactly what happens. To be honest, I think that my CSR, I mean my comfort specialist is actually in here right now. That's awesome. Wiles, is that you? Yeah, he's a beast. I mean, he's feeding 3 install teams by himself. And when I came, that's what I said. I'm like, these technicians need to be turning things over, because some guys, if they want to sell to the customer, hey, go ahead. If you feel comfortable, I'll let you do it. But a lot of people don't. It's like, okay, well, I'm not going to force you to do it. Just tell them, hey. And if you flip it over and the guy sells it, then you get a little back for setting up the opportunity. I don't want you to do something you're not comfortable with. You know, I rather you go do something else. And yeah, Wilds fucking kills it. He goes out there and it's awesome. He was crushing it. Yeah, it is him. See, I'm talking about you, Wilds, talking you up, buddy. Didn't even know you were here.
Yeah, we had a selling tech model and a service tech model. So we had the ability, but ours was, you had to prove it was a promotional. So a promotion. If you wanted to get promoted into a selling tech, then you had to do everything extremely well. And then literally the other selling techs had to vote you onto the island, basically.
See, I love that, because that's how I feel. I don't believe that you just get it. You have to prove to me that you're trustworthy, you're honest, above the normal stuff that you need just to work for me. Because if I think you're a shitbag, then I don't want you. If I can't trust you to do what I asked you to do, then you can't work for me.
Yeah,
but yeah, if you're above and beyond, I love that. The team voting them in, like, hey, this person can now sell. That's I love that. You have to earn the right to be able to do that.
We created kind of like the country club mentality. If you had to have someone kind of promote you into the country club, and then they had to come to me and say, why, give me a business case. Why should this person, this is an elite club, why should we allow that person in? And then if they didn't keep a closing rate at a certain level, they got booted out of the club.
Yeah, no, and that's true. You gotta and that's one thing I love, man. The fact, like, I mean, in your mind, like one comfort specialist, like, realistically, how many install teams in your mind would you think they should be feeding?
God, 4, 5, if they're really, really good and they have a tremendous amount of leads. I think they probably could. That's a stretch, man. A good one is 3 or 4, probably. 5 for if you we were fortunate. We had a good lead stream from some big box stores. We had 2 Costco accounts. So we were getting the lead stream from Costco. We were a Lennox dealer, so we had Costco accounts. Well, we earned Costco accounts. We didn't get them, for sure. But, so I had two comfort advisors that ran full-time, roughly 3 leads a day each. And I kept 5 or 6 full-time crews going. Install crews.
Yeah, nice. We're at right now where it's just Wilds, and he's feeding 3 teams, and we're booked out a week.
Yeah, he's great job, dude. He's crushing it.
yeah. I mean, he is absolutely killing it. Like, we use Slack for different communications, and I look in the sales channel, and it's sold. I'm like, damn, dude. Like, he's just out there like you have one, you get a new system, and I'm like, yeah, and to know that he's doing it the right way, and the reason you know that is because he goes out and does the sale, and that people leave a review. That's how you know that somebody's really making an impact and doing the right thing when they buy a $20,000 system from you and fucking leave you a 5-star review. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can feel good about yourself and go home at night because you know you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, because no one wants to spend $20,000 on an air conditioning system.
No.
Because they all think that they cost $4,000.
Yeah. Well, my buddy's cousin says he can do it, and I'm like, well, get your buddy's cousin to do it, brother. I have to go ahead.
Do it and save my number, because we're not coming, even though we're not going to come and fix his screw up, but save my number.
Yeah, it's funny because I went against my rule. Some guy bought a 3-head mini split off of HVAC Direct and had some local guy put it in, and it was a mess. And I said, Tell you what, I said, normally I don't do this. I said, I'm going to fix this for you under the condition that you'll at least let me get the maintenance on all your systems. You said nobody's been able to fix it. I said, well, I guarantee, I can tell you with 100% certainty that I'll fix this unit. And he said,
Yeah.
You fix it. He's like, I'll do all that. Things up and running. I was there yesterday.
Yeah.
And maintenance plans, he put surge protectors on it. I said, this is inverter technology. You should have surge protection. You should have voltage monitoring on it. I install this on ones that we do. That's why we have a little bit of a premium, because we add these extras on there to protect your investment. And he's like, yep, whatever you want to do, let's do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I normally wouldn't do that. I would have said, nah, no thanks. But I like to get out in the field sometime and show my tech side. So I figured, what the hell, I'd go show off a little bit.
Well, and think about what we were just talking about. Like, you showed such a value in your proposition or in your offering that the customer was basically just open up a checkbook. And we try and talk about it. Every customer has a dollar sign they think is going to be expensive. Now, your dollar sign might be smaller, bigger than mine. Mine might be smaller, bigger than yours. No one knows, right? Because again, I just built this house. Like, literally February, my wife and I moved into this house. I had an electrician come out because I forgot to put an additional outlet in my garage. I don't know why. I'm a dummy. But I had a guy come out, and he was a member of CEO Warrior. I love this. I love this family. Great little electrical company here in Greenville, South Carolina. Came out. I had it in my mind what it was going to cost to put an electrical outlet, but I didn't want him cutting into my wall. So I said, obviously he's going to run conduit. And I had a number, and he gave me a number that was like 4 times larger than what I had in my head. And here I am being our worst customer. Right? And I'm thinking to myself, like, I am doing everything that our worst customers do. But, he gave me it, and he started telling me why I needed to do it. And all right, just put it in. Right? But it was 4 times higher than what I had in my head. And then this is what I do for a living. And still, I didn't realize it was going to be that high. So, every customer has that number in their head when they show up, and typically it's lower than what you think or what it really is, because they don't want to spend the money.
Yeah, and it's also the other way around too. Sometimes you get people that you think that you're scared to tell them, and you're like, it's going to be $3,500 to fix it, and they're like, oh man, I thought it was going to be way more than that, and you're like, your butthole's all tight. You're all tense to say it because you're nervous. Even though if I believe in everything on that paper, I'm going to say it with pride because I'm good at what I do.
Right.
And I've sold more systems by being thorough, and I don't ever bring up a system. This is what this system needs to get it working properly. It's going to be $2,800. And the customer goes, well, fuck, how much is a new one?
Yeah.
I don't ever got to be a salesman. I just got to be really good tech and really thorough at what I do. And they'll ask for it. And then I give them that cost, and they're like, oh, I'll still fix it. Okay, whatever you want to do. I'm just here to give you the options and give you what's on the table, the cards, and then you pick which one you want to do. It's just.
And Gil, what's pretty funny is I just started looking at this from a conversion standpoint, because we've been hearing a lot of customer, again, hold on to their money. And so when I heard this, I had no idea you could do this. I don't know if you were aware, you can finance your DoorDash order. Did you know you could finance DoorDash?
No.
Yeah, I just found this out not too long ago. Didn't know you could finance DoorDash. And you can, I started paying attention. I don't do a lot of our Amazon shopping, although Amazon shows up at my house daily. But I did something the other day, and I realized right before you go to checkout, rather than hitting the button that says stored credit card, you have the option of some kind of credit thing, 3 equal payments. So the mindset is no longer price mindset. The culture is changing to payment mindset. So one of the things that we keep talking about is either don't give a price and get the customer to ask you what the price is and say, well, do you like this? Because I can do this for as low as $258 a month. And That's a lot easier to swallow than $15,000. You still going to tell me, well, I don't really want to do financing. Cool, it's $15,000.
Yeah.
Right. We've been experimenting with that for a little while now, and in our membership, I've been kind of paying attention to it, and conversion rates are going up when we're leading with that. When we're leading with a payment mindset rather than a price mindset. So just a little nugget. I mean, we're finding that on our side. I don't know if that works in all markets. It's certainly not a silver bullet, but that's something that we've been playing with, and our members have been given a really positive feedback to it.
Yeah, no, and I've done something similar too, because when you do have that big number and you're sitting there going over on the iPad, they're staring at that bottom number.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not looking at you go down the page. They're like, what the fuck? You know, so sometimes them not seeing it, or if you do show them, you show it at the end, you go over everything. They're actually listening and retaining the information, not thinking like, I don't have that kind of money, or how am I going to pay for that, or something like that. So I agree. And all these big CRMs, Service Titan, all them, it's got a big green financing button on the options page. You know, so it's there. You can incorporate that. So it says how much it is to finance. I mean, it's all right there. The bad thing now is having financing for like not so good credit. Like you have to have those companies because there's a lot of people with horrible fucking credit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, we found that even in our vendor program, we have to go find places that will finance at 520. And there's not a lot of companies that will finance at 520 credit scores.
Yeah, no.
Because that's, there's reasons for that. And I don't judge anyone for a 520 credit score. But the fact of the matter is, it's not that easy to get a bank to say yes to that.
Sorry, I want to appreciate this, man. WWHVAC, thank you very much. If you don't see his comment, he said, big shout out to Gil. He brings a ton of value to HVAC industry. YouTube must be shadow banning this channel or something, because every time I tune in, I'm picking up golden nuggets and motivation. Keep grinding, Gil. Your channel deserves 100K subscribers. Thank you, man. I really, really appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much, man. And to be honest, email me, hvacuncensored@gmail.com. I'd love for you to come on the show one time, brother. Keep doing what you're doing as well. So thank you very, very much. Thank you for coming in here. But yeah, it's the same way. It's about, if you provide value, people are willing to do it if they trust and they believe what you're saying. That's really what it comes down to. But fuck, Kevin, I can sit here and talk to you all night, man. We're at an hour, and this is I got some guys saying I got to go to bed. I'm like, what do you? I'm like, oh shit, that's because we started late. It's 9:30.
A good podcast starts on time. A great one ends on time.
Yeah, right. And I used to be. I wish that I could be like the Joe Rogan of HVAC. I that's what I try to be, or try to emulate myself.
Yeah.
But I just found that those 4-hour shows, I got a big mouth. I'd sit here and talk forever. But I just found the analytics does it, normally that hour is what people look at. Even when I do 2-parters, I find that it dips off. Even though people tell me a lot of them listen while they're driving. So normally I keep them at an hour, and I find out the analytics do the best, because I used to do the 2-hour shows, and I'm like, all right, well, these are easier to edit when they're than they're at an hour. So I'll start keeping it at that. But yeah, man, I have all your information, like how they get in touch with you guys, in the show notes. Like, Kevin, thank you so much for coming on. This is an awesome conversation, man. I really enjoyed sitting here talking with you, brother.
Yeah, Gil, thanks again, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. It's awesome stuff. Love it.
Yep. Thank you so much, man. And I might try to reach out, because I might be interested in trying to see what it is to get involved with you guys, like myself.
Yeah, having you, as a thank you of having you on here, I'd be more than happy to have you and maybe one or two of your guys to come down and just kind of get involved with one of our Road Warrior trainings. We have another one coming up in August. I know that's not a great time for HVAC, but then we got one in October as well. So if you want to just come down and just kind of check us out and go through that. We also have one of our Service Business Live events, which is kind of an overview, 2 days overview of everything that we do. That's in New Jersey, but you're more than welcome. Just get in touch with me, man. You come visit us and see what we do in one of our events. By any means possible, just come on down.
Yeah, of course, man. Jersey's not far. It's skip, hop, and a jump. So I'm all down for that.
Love it.
Well,
Love it.
Thank you so much, brother. I'm going to close this out, man. I appreciate you.
All right. Sounds great.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming out to check out the show, man. I know some of you guys that are technicians mind, you don't like hearing the business stuff. I get it, but I guys tell you all the time, I get asked for this stuff a lot, man. So I'm trying to give to some of the other listeners as well. But I do have some technical stuff coming up. I actually have a podcast. You can go with me, Zeke. I'm down. We can talk about it Saturday. But uh podcast I'm going to do, and it's going to be about brand loyalty. And so that is one that's coming up, just so you guys know, whether it's brand with your tools, whether it's brand with the equipment, brand with your vehicles, whatever it is. We're just going to have the discussion about brand loyalty, and I want to hear both sides of it. I want to hear people's arguments, and I really want to dig into that discussion. So that is going to be the next solo pass podcast that I do. Just so you know, be looking for that. So make sure you follow the podcast on all the social media sites to stay up to date on when that is coming out. So once again, sorry about last week. I'm out there working. Rookie bust my balls. But now I'm out there with my fucking tool bag. You know, I'm in the office. I'm clickety clacking on the computer, but I'm also out there turning wrenches. All right. I forgot more than some you motherfuckers. Rookie knows. It's like, nah, I love Rookie. He knows that. He just busts my balls. And people always say that they wouldn't think he's one of my good friends by the way he busts my balls. It's no, we're just busting balls. That's all it is, man. Just like Rookie is not a rookie. The guy knows what he's doing as well. Rookie is kind of just funny. But anyway, man, I appreciate you guys for coming out here. Sorry about last week. Thank you so much. We had a really good flow of people tonight for most of the show. So thank you guys so much. Any of you that are interested in CEO Warrior, I highly suggest you check it out, man. I have known out of all of the different services, or I'm trying to think, organizations like this that help businesses grow, friends, people that I say are my, not people I just know, like legitimate friends of mine that I talk to on a regular basis. The most of them that have been successful out of any of those have went to CEO Warrior, and that's just the facts. You can feel however you want to feel. That's the facts. If I had to ask friends of mine, which one would you do? What have you done? More of them say CEO Warrior than any of the other ones, and that is just the absolute truth. So I know some people get in their feelings and feel a type of way. You got a cousin, brother's nephew who had a bad experience or whatever it is. It is what it is, man. Have it for yourself. Have your own experience to make your own judgment. That's all I got to say. Don't believe what you see on Facebook and social media. With that being said, man, I'm going to close this thing out. But all of CEO Warriors information, their website is going to be down in the show notes. Just click that button, let them know HVAC Uncensored sent you, and they will take care of you. All right. With that being said, man, keep your head on a swivel. When I don't care if you're driving out there, whatever it is, man, we live in a crazy world. All right. I want each and every one of you to make it home the same way that you left. All right. Make sure the breaker's turned off. Make sure when you're driving down the road, you're looking, you're getting off your phone, you're not texting and driving. Just please be careful. It is a crazy fucking world. And once again, I want each and every one of you to make it home the same way that you left. All right. Do the little things. Set yourself apart from the next guy or girl. All right. There's no such thing as staying the same. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. All right. Do the little things to set yourself apart from the next guy or girl. All right. If it's a book, an online course, a podcast, a YouTube video, a program like this, whatever it is keep trying to be the best version of you. All right. If you want something, grab it by the fucking balls and go do it. All right. I was that person for a little bit. I sit around with that poor me, and I'm not doing that anymore, man. That's not me. I've grown so much from that person. I used to be that drug addict, piece of shit who didn't have a pot to piss in, and I lit a fire under my ass. And now when I want something, I am going to do what it takes to go get it. I'm going to educate myself. I'm going to put the time in. I'm going to put the work in, and I'm going to make it happen. I am nobody special. If I can do it, each and every one of you out there can do it. All right. You always know if I can help you in any way, please don't hesitate to reach out. I don't know everything. I'll help you in whatever way that I can. If I can't help you, I will get you in touch with somebody else who can help you. All right. With that being said, man, I love you, mofos. I appreciate each and every one of you. Stay safe out there. And until next week, I'll talk at you later. All right. See ya.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored Podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.